Hey folks, Bridges here. We're going to use Fusion today to create an ornament, a holiday ornament using some new features. Thin Extrude. We're going to use the mirror function, the mirror feature, and we're going to use a pattern. These are the design criteria and constraints that I have come up with for my class. One continuous part, that means not a bunch of pieces that have to be assembled after the 3D print or the laser cut. So it has to at least include at least one polygon, at least one mirror, at least one pattern, and it has to have a hole for a hook. Okay, the max size of anything, so the max diameter is 4 inches, and then nothing smaller than 1/16 of an inch as far as the solid parts go. Printers, 3D printers don't want to do anything much smaller than that, and also if you're laser cutting, you're going to end up with some very fragile thin parts if you get much smaller. Okay, so let's get to it. Back over here on Fusion, we're going to create a new sketch. I'm going to go on the bottom plane, and I'm just going to do a simple vertical line. I don't want to quite go 2 inches, so I'll go here at about somewhere around 1.5 inches. I realize that's not quite what I said. I'm going to come up and off this way with a bit of an angled line, and then I'll go ahead and jump right in and use the mirror tool to mirror that angled line over the vertical line as the mirror plane. So I'll choose my mirror line selector and now choose the vertical line, and it just mirrored that angled line. So I can say OK. I can mirror that again if I wanted to. I'm going to instead do a pattern. So I'll create a rectangular pattern in this case. So I'm going to move those angled lines down. So I'll do a rectangular pattern. My objects to pattern are going to be these two little antenna looking thingies, and then my direction, so I'm going to choose my direction picker now and choose the vertical line. So I'm just going to come down this way. I can use my down arrow to drag. You can have as many instances as you want. I have three right now, or I can change it to 4 or 5. I'm clicking the wrong number 3, I guess, up here. One of the numbers will change and change your quantity. So 5 is a little much. 4, I think 3 is the right number. You choose what looks good for you. So there we go. Don't forget to include your polygon. So you can create a polygon from here, which is a regular polygon, or you can create any polygon that you want by simply coming out here and just, a polygon is just a multiple straight-sided object. So I'll just do like a simple kind of a diamond squarish type shape on my, trying to make it symmetrical by holding on my points here. There we go. It's not quite right. Hey, why don't I show you the proper way of doing this by using horizontal vertical, this point and this point. That doesn't quite look right, does it? Oh, and it looks like I've got a perpendicular constraint on this one, so I should put the same over here, shouldn't I? From here to there, perpendicular. There we go. Now it's symmetrical. Okay. I'm going to finish that sketch. And every time I finish the sketch, I want to look at it 3D mode, because whatever I do, I want to see it going into the 3rd dimension. Historically, in the past, if we extrude, it's only going to let me choose enclosed shapes, which I've only got these 2 regions. Profiles, they're called. Okay? So, but now I'm going to teach you a new tool, which is instead of using a regular extrude, we're going to do a thin extrude. So you don't actually have to have enclosed regions as long as you have lines. So I'm going to extrude this line. I'm going to choose those lines there. And then sometimes you can drag a box to select all of your lines, but I've experienced trouble with that. I like to click them individually. And when I do that, look, it looks nice, but it is also a little funky. So what's funky about it is it's kind of coming off of, it looks like it's coming off to the right of my line, okay? And that's because of the down here, it says wall location is side 1. So we want to change that wall location to center, and that means my line becomes the center of the wall now. That's important, okay? The other thing that's important is because of our constraints, we don't want our wall thickness. Our wall is the thickness of the extrusion, by the way. We want our wall thickness to be no less than 1/16. So I can type in that fraction 1/16, and that does create a new body for me. I say OK, and there we have it. Okay, I don't really care about the distance of the extrusion because that's, well, I probably should care about it, honestly. I should probably change my constraints. But for now, that's my one solid feature there that we've made. One solid body. So now we will create a, you know what? I'm gonna actually go back into my sketch. I want to change one thing. I'm being a little picky here. I'm actually going to trim this little line out of the middle of the square. So I'm going to use my trim tool, and I'm going to trim right there. And it doesn't like that because it already extruded that, and that's part of my long line. So now I'll just need to go back in and repick on my, so I'll edit the thin extrude, and I'll have to repick this line here because it got trimmed. So now I should be good to go. Now I like that better. Next thing, we're going to circular pattern this. So I'm going to go to create. I'm going all the way down to pattern, and I'm going to circular pattern. And what I'm going to pattern here is the entire feature. You do want to change it from bodies or components, whichever one it might be on. We do want to say features. So we'll choose the extrude feature, either here on our body or down here on our timeline. And then we want to get our axis picker, and we want to go around the blue Z-axis because that's the axis that we were normal to when we created our sketch. You can increase the quantity up to whatever you think looks nice. I think 4 looks a little too symmetrical. 5 looks good. 6 looks great. How many can we go? 10? It's kind of busy, isn't it? I think maybe 8 might be the right one. Yeah, I like 8. I've done a different number each time I've created this. Of course, we could go in and change our material by right-clicking on our component and changing our physical material or just the appearance. Perhaps we just want to change the appearance of the default steel. It's not, oh, there we go. Maybe we want to give it a nice, I don't know, fabric look. Gray, white. I think it should be white, don't you? It's snowflake. Okay, that looks nice, I guess. Maybe I just go to paint and I choose a nice smooth powder coat white color like that. Okay, it's wanting just to do one thing, so that seems weird. Maybe I want to put it up here in my toolbox, and maybe I want to put it on the whole thing over here on unsaved. There we go. Okay, looks nice. Now we're only missing a couple of things. It is one piece, kind of. It's we've definitely got the polygon, we've got the mirror, we got the circular pattern. It's just missing our hole. So let's create a sketch on top of the item. I'm gonna come down here and take a vertical line straight up from that point. I'm gonna put a circle in the middle, right there. Try that again. Circle there, like that. And then I'm going to start offsetting things. So I'm going to offset the circle by a distance of 1/16. Can't be any smaller than that. And then I'm going to offset this vertical line, half that distance actually. So half, so that's 1/32 to this side. And then I'll offset this one over here, 1/16 back where we came from. I better make it negative so it goes the correct direction. So now we're ready to finish sketch. We can, wow, I almost was tangent right there, wasn't I? I can go ahead and extrude. I don't need to do the thin extrude this time. I can just choose my profiles. There we go. And I can, oh, I sketched on top. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go down as far as this bottom face. So I can change my extent type from distance to object and just click the bottom there. If I did that too quick, you can rewind and rewatch. Okay. I think we're pretty much there, folks. The last step is preparing it for the laser cutter. You can watch my next video for that. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching.